I'm chilling out here, watching some videos, and Lily has been in the window, like staring at these little birds that keep flying up to the windowsill and eating the seeds I put there for them. And while I've been watching them, I've been watching, I don't know if you can see them. There they are. My little birds. Hi, babies. There's so many of them. While I've been sitting here watching this, I've been hearing a conversation go on in the back of my mind between teachers asking, like talking about me in the background, saying that I should show people like clarified channeling. And I've been like eavesdropping on this astral conversation, and I'm just thinking to myself here, that's why I picked up the phone, and I'm like, I may as well just talk this out. But I keep seeing pencil and paper and like drawing like a classroom and a kid sitting there like being taught by these channelers, and the kid is supposed to teach the other channelers and the non-channelers what channeling is about. And I am in no way thinking or feeling that I'm qualified enough to tell the world how to channel, when like I've been doing it my entire life without knowing it. But when I was 34, back in 24, I think it was 2014, I was going to this place called Spa something, Salon something. It was like a Reiki and acupuncture place. And I would go there and get Reiki and acupuncture by this wonderful acupuncturist named Marina. And she helped me see a lot about myself. Oh my God, it just started snowing. Wow. Did I just see snow? Because it's not snowing. But I swear I just saw a flurry of snow. Whatever. I want a McFlurry now. The lady was named Marina, and I went to her for a few sessions, for a few months actually. Every week I'd go there, and we would do acupuncture, and a few times the acupuncture needles disappeared off of me with the ones that were around the heart chakra. And the first time it happened, she was in shock. She was like going through my hair, going like I was literally on the table in just underwear and a blanket on me. We were like looking for these needles, the acupuncture needles, everywhere. And they were like real gold needles, like 24 karat pure needle tip, like acupuncture needles. They were amazing. She's like, I only save these for the ascended masters that have come back and do the, to heal their energy systems. Like, I can't tell you much more, but I'm using these on you. And I was like, what are you talking about? I didn't know anything about any of this stuff, like really back then. I barely even knew what, it doesn't matter. So apparently, a lot of people are waking up to realizing what spirituality and channeling actually is about. So I'm going to make this really quick for you, or do my best, because I've been eavesdropping on that astral conversation, which I think I was supposed to hear and not just say eavesdropping. Channeling, and when we, like us channelers, when we say we're hearing something or we're feeling something, or when we get the messages to relay them, the person that was born and raised and has a life, a physical life, isn't the one speaking the messages to you. So when I'm sitting here and I'm reading cards specifically, or doing energy work, or giving you, like, I don't want to call it Gnostic wisdom, but it's what it is. The person, isn't in the environment. My energy field, my personality, my ego, my higher self is like tuned out. What is tuned in is the source energy that everyone is connected to. And I connect physically to that energy and allow that energy to flow through me. What it feels like is those tingles you get, like the chicken bumps or goosebumps or whatever they're called, but inverted. It feels like it's going internally, like those little goosebumps go internal, and then the shape of the channeler changes. I don't know how else to describe it. It's like Play-Doh that changes into a different shape from the inside. So there's a few channelers on YouTube, well, quite a many actually, and I've noticed a lot of them, like in their comments, there's people that keep taking things personally. And you guys got to realize intensely that, one, first and foremost, as the viewer, it is not your place to say when a message is for the channeler or for you. That's insulting to you, the channeler, and your guides. Because you're basically, the viewer would be then saying that message isn't for me, it's for the person sharing the message. So if I'm coming, like sitting here, coming to you with a message and somebody tells me, oh, that message is for you. Incorrect. Incorrect. That's a message you weren't ready to hear. It isn't for me. I am in constant contact with my source and my guides, and I have nothing else to do but sit in this apartment, and I've had 40 years on this planet being by myself. If there was a message that was meant for me, I would have received it by now. And rest assured, I continuously receive messages and course corrections and bitch slaps from the universe. So when a message is shared by a channeler, the message isn't for the channeler or from the channeler. It is to the people listening to the channel. It's like going to ancient Greece and seeing somebody on the podium talking with like a high priestess or a priest talking on the podium, and the people in the audience are like, that message is for you. What are you doing standing up there? Like, that message isn't for them. That message is for you. And the person standing there speaking to you isn't speaking to you personally. They're speaking to your energetic field, your higher self, your spirit guide team, your family lineage, your ancestry, your DNA, your light coding, your past life structures. Throughout time and space, these messages go to your ears, and from your ears they reverberate through your body, and through your body they reverberate through the universe that you're a part of. It has nothing to do with me. I'm speaking the message to you from source and your guides and the energy patterns, and revealing to you what you refuse to see. And there's nothing wrong with refusing to see something. Absolutely nothing. We all receive messages when we're ready to hear them, and sometimes the messages we hear that we're not ready for go into the soil of our soul. So they sprout later with an epiphany of, oh, aha, now I get it. Yeah, it's seeds planted by spirit through voice into your cellular structure, so that when you're ready to reveal that information to yourself, you have your own revelation. And it seems like, an intuitive knowing. But actually, it's been the entire collective and the universe giving you signs and synchronicities until you're ready to actually see all the signs and synchronicities put together. So it's like if I'm sharing messages one card at a time, but the entire story can only be told when there's 12 cards on the table, it's not going to make sense to you. But once those 12 cards are on the table, it'll make sense, correct? So the messages might not make sense to you at the time they're given, but there might be a point in your life where that message might be relevant to you. So I know some of the messages that come through me are harsh, emotional, painful, truthful, cutting, bitter, jaded. Sometimes they're like flat out angry sounding. Sometimes the messages seem like they're so loving and heartfelt and tear filled, and it's constantly changing. But if you zoom back and have some hindsight in regards to the messages shared with you, you will see exactly how each and every message has been a metaphor for your current life experience. The messages that don't make sense are the parts of your life that you're not acknowledging. Because calling me a projector of my own personal beliefs, or any channeler as a projector of their own ego onto the screen, is an insult to the gift and the abilities we have from God. We're not here, for one, to make money off of the gifts from Source. 2, we're not here to belittle you. 3, we're not here to mislead you. 4, we're not here to give you false hope. And 5, we are here to call out all the false prophets. Every single one of them. So, when a message is brought, it might not apply at the time, but it is relevant. If you weren't meant to watch something, you wouldn't have clicked it. You wouldn't have felt the trigger feeling in the finger to click the button to, click play. If it wasn't for you, you wouldn't have clicked it. Now, some messages might seem offensive from channelers to the viewers, but that isn't from the person. So if me and you, I, William Arsenos, whatever the fuck my birth name is going to be, or was, or whatever my name is going to be after I legally change it. I don't fucking know yet if I'm even going to change it. If I'm sitting there and you're sitting there and I'm channeling for you, are you going to like yell at me? No, right? You're going to listen to the channeled message. You're going to write down notes. You're going to come back to those notes later, and you're going to write down throughout your day what occurred, so you can come back to it after a few days and see how the message is applied, so you can learn. It's like school. But if we're sitting here and channeling face to face, like I'm channeling for you face to face or reading cards for you face to face, and you feel insulted by the message coming to you, it's not my problem. That's your ego trigger, not mine. And I've seen another channeler on YouTube who was getting fucking harassed by these comments in her channel. And I'm like, yo, like I sat down and I meditated and I like tuned into the guides and I'm like, what the fuck's going on here? And they told me that the people don't comprehend what channeling is. So when we're channeling and the person's staring at the camera channeling, the viewer has an emotional connection with the channel, the person channeling, and they think the person channeling is being themselves talking to a friend. That is not accurate whatsoever, okay? When I make these videos and it's a card reading or a channeled message or like an oracle reading of some kind, it is not Roma talking to you. Ever. From the entirety of the beginning of the video to the end, Roma checks out. The person channeling to, like the energies channeling to you, are from your guides, your ancestors, all of our higher selves, source energy, the angels, the earth energy of Mother Gaia Sophia, the sun, the moon, the stars, time, space, energy, earth, air, fire, water, consciousness, and multiple other facets of creation that you aren't aware of just yet. So it's insulting to your intelligence, the viewers, to insult the people you're watching, or to assume that the people watching you even know you in real life or are personally attacking you. Even in the video that came up the other day, Twin Flame Lesson Teacher, Teaching Teacher, whatever things, where the wounds of Roma came up with Corey's wounds in regards to showing and revealing all the Twin Flames how much fuckery there is in this entire fucking world, and none of it makes sense. Because all it boils down to is communication and how communication is miscommunicated. When one person doesn't communicate with the other, there is a miscommunication, correct? And when one person does communicate with many, there is massive miscommunication. Correct. Facts. So, please, please, please do yourselves the favor for the entire collective. If you are on the spiritual path, which everyone is, whether they realize it or not, and you are making steps towards enlightening yourself, do yourself a favor and humble yourself before you insult messengers of source and claim that they are offending you personally. Because if every other channel and channeler and message and card reader is giving you sugar-coated news, and one specifically or two or three or four are having you feel triggered and insulted, and it's like not resonating, and you're using keywords like, oh, I'm vibing with that, or I'm resonating with that, oh, I'm doing this, that's not you talking, that's your ego keeping you from something, keeping you at the surface level saying, yes, that resonates. But if it resonated, you would be pissed off and you'd be making changes. Regardless if I told you the love of your life is coming in 5 minutes, or if I told you you're going to get a call for $1 million in 2 minutes, or that you're going to get a puppy or a pony. You're like, yeah, that resonated. I just went to a pet shop. Okay, but how do you feel about getting this new puppy? That's the point of bringing that to your attention. It's not about, oh, you're getting a puppy. It's about what emotional state and thoughts are coming up in you when you hear that message. Because that's the block to why you haven't had those things yet. So we, as psychics, channelers, intuitives, see those messages from outside of your field. We share them with you through us, while all that energy tears up our body from the inside out. It ages us, it decays the mineral content in the body, it takes energy to give you wisdom. Also, we have to suffer first to gain the wisdom to give it to you so you don't have to suffer. It's ridiculous. What Corey and I went through was horrible. Horrible. And I see so many other people complain about their relationships, and I'm like, you guys have no idea how good you have it. No idea. And yet the entire time, people assisting you in your relationships, most viewers seem to think that we're attacking you. Bro, I've never even breathed the same air as you within the same 100-mile radius. Why would I fucking attack you personally? The love of my life for the time of my previous life experience, where I was a gay male, fucking ridiculous. I was in love with this person and really terrible things happened. Do I still hate him? Absolutely. Do I still love him? Absolutely. Would I still have a cup of coffee with him? Absolutely. Would I go back into a relationship with him? No. But will I hold a grudge? No. Do I have to express all those emotions to you so that you see you're not alone in your duality of hatred and love and your confusion? Yes, I have to show you that because you're not alone. We all go through it. The only thing is, do we move forward from it or do we hold grudges? Do we move forward and open the way for unity, or do we hold grudges and look at our ego while the ego says no? You can only see this much of life. And every message that gets through could be attacking you. Look at all that light coming through. Isn't that blinding? Like, no, ego, it's okay. It's okay to be corrected. It's okay to be wrong. It's okay to need validation. These are all okay things. But what's not okay is to constantly think you are in survival mode or fight or flight, or that you don't have your needs met, and then to reaffirm those things, and then to go from reading to reading to reading, using your energy as if you're sexually transmitting your energy like a freaking disease from video to video to video to video, giving it to all the other channelers, where they all gain that energy, whether they know it or not. And then they utilize it in their own sphere of reality. And then you watch that person again and you're like, oh, that person is very familiar to me. No, they're not familiar to you. That's your energy they're channeling towards you. This person, like, I don't even know. There's 200 and some people on my channel subscribed, right? I love every single one of you because I see your souls. Do I see your human faces and your parents and your problems? No. I see them all as light bodies wandering around. Some of you are dim, some of you are bright. It's like Xavier when he puts Cerebro on and he sees the mutants and the humans. There's the ones that are awake, who are the lit up ones, the ones who are kind of dim, like black and white, and the other ones who are just dark. There's no light in them. But they are still within a light body that doesn't have light. So there's no soulless ones, there are lightless ones. There's no everybody is you pushed out. Everybody is themselves. The entire world that you're perceiving is a co-creation of everybody else. The only issue is, due to the time stream and how we perceive reality based on our thoughts, what we perceive is this, but what the other person perceives is this. What the other person perceives is this. What the other one perceives is this. What's really there is this. But none of you can even see behind the camera. So how can you say your reality isn't changing, that the lover isn't coming, that the channelers are wrong, that people are attacking you, that the world's at this, that the craziness is that? You have no idea what you're even looking at. You're translating the vibrations of reality through your eyeballs, who are programmed to filter what you perceive through the cones and retina in your eye based on the programming in your mind that is redirecting the energy going through your system and your nervous system based on the thoughts. So if you think you're ugly and you're perceiving beauty, you're not going to perceive beauty, you're going to perceive clutter. Simple. If you're closed off to evolution and change and spiritual growth or emotional intelligence, and somebody tells you that another person is hurt, you're going to think that person's complaining. If someone's having financial issues and they're like being stolen from or whatever, and they're pointing it out to you, some might think this person's whining and they're not taking responsibility. Why would they think that? Because the person thinking that isn't acknowledging their own behavior. They're seeing it reflected over there. They're not noticing that we're all looking at each other as mirrors. So they're like, oh, this person over here is whining and complaining, but you're there in the same vibration. The same exact vibration. There's no difference. The only difference would be this person is judging this other person's pain. So this person's revealing pain, revealing issues, faults, blah, 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 venting. This person's like, ew. What's the problem in between, right? The purple light of transmutation. Transmuting what you perceive into what's actually there. Being strong enough to see the light in between connections. and within the self to be able to illuminate your reality to see what's actually there. I'm seeing curtains. What are you seeing? Like, do you see the same colors that I see? Do you see the same backdrop that I see? Because right now what I'm looking at is different than what you're looking at, because your eyes are translating what I'm looking at in a different way. But we're still looking at the same world. This is why people say the new earth. No, babies. It is not the new earth. It is the current earth that you will be perceiving with programming that is actually beneficial to you instead of detrimental. So the current 3D world is the world of conflict. But the reality is there is no conflict because we're all one. We're all connected. We're all united. So when people start realizing that, the 3D world doesn't shift and break apart and turn into the 5D world. Humans just stop being stupid. And they acknowledge the world we already live in is the kingdom of heaven. Here, now, and we fucked it up. So the channelers that come down and say, bring these messages, the ascended masters reincarnating, the old gods and goddesses, Athena, Artemis, Sophia, Demeter, Persephone, Lucifer, Michael, like all these beings are incarnated here in some way or another, and you guys are too blind to see it. You're too blinded by ego and television screens and sci-fi movies and fantasy books to see the gods walking around you, talking to you. The Christed energy across everybody and those illumined ones, and even the collection of all the secret society bullshit. Like, look at every form of societal structure we have and notice how immature humanity has perceived its own creation. We have made a boogeyman to justify our laziness. It's that simple. It's the same concept as a viewer watching a channeler blaming the channeler for the message, as if the channeler wrote the message and the messenger and their God, and they're like, yo, I hate all of you. I'm going to call you all out on the internet because I got nothing better to do. Like, come on. That's probably something the viewer would do. That's why they think the channeler is doing it. It's not the same. It's a reflection. So the light coming at you can be reflected through a dark mirror or a silver mirror or a clear transparent light. It all depends if you're in the red zone of your vibration, where you're eating meat, doing drugs, fucking everything left and right, being cheated on, cheating on people, not communicating, not opening your heart, betraying, stealing, gossiping, like worshiping demonic entities, having sex with succubi and incubus, sharing your energy with like everybody else and then not giving energy back to them, which makes you an energy thief or an energy vampire. Or you could be in the reflective state where you're in the dark zone, where you're like isolated to see what's going on inside you, and you're being forced to find the light within. Or you've already found the light within. You notice the fake organic light, the false light of this world. You notice the real transparent light of this world and the nature in between both. And then the humans, emissaries of nature and God, walking the earth, with all the forces of creation backing them up. But what are humans doing? Flinging mud at each other, insulting each other, hurting each other, stealing, lying, betraying, ghosting. And then you guys go to card readers and you're like, where's my twin flame? Bitch, you are your own twin flame. What are you doing? Like, that other version of you is you. Like, Corey running from me is literally running from the aspect of himself that's spiritual and open-hearted. Me running from Corey is me running from the part of me that would be really good at fucking computers, engineering, and like math and numbers and accounting stuff. Like, we're totally fucking opposite. Total fucking opposites. Do we belong together? I have no fucking idea. I don't care. Maybe in another lifetime. I'm busy. But like, are we going to spend the rest of our life in its incarnation fighting or hating each other? No, we're the same soul. It's the same cloth that cut pieces off to make two individuals aspects of itself. That's what this twin flame is. It's your soul split in two. Chasing after your soul causes your soul to chase after you in the opposite direction. Running from your soul causes your soul to run from you in the opposite direction. It's like coming into alignment with a mirror. If you put your hand like this, the other hand goes like this. But once you both kind of match up, you form a connection. But in order for that to happen, the close-hearted person version of you, the beings that are, feeling insulted, like that vibration must rise up to meet the other vibration, which is too high, somewhere down the middle, so they can meet in a state of compromise and communication. Not for any like romance or fucking woo-woo spiritual world-saving bullshit. No, it's about you, your soul, your light, your connection to your God. That's the most important thing. It's not about money. It's not about relationships. It's not about anything. And then the other thing that channelers and card readers get a lot of slack for is third party. A third party could be your cigarettes. Third party could be the amount of time you spend with plants. The third party could be how much time you spend alone outside instead of at home with your family. Third parties are anything. Relationships are anything. I have a relationship with these pencils. I ignore them quite often. I have a relationship with that TV. I kind of dislike it because somebody gave it to me that I really didn't. I don't know if I can trust or not because there's a lot of shady energy around that person. Did I run from communicating that shady energy to that person? No. I actually messaged them last night on Facebook and I'm like, yo, there's something around your field that's shady. Do you know what happened? That person got insulted at me and accused me of accusing them of betraying me. And the first thing I thought is, oh, you did betray me and I just found the wound then. Okay. I didn't even say that. The act of feeling that way is enough proof to the person feeling that to acknowledge that that feeling is within you. I didn't put it in there. So if I'm coming to someone saying, I don't feel appreciated, it's not that I'm not appreciating myself. It's that there's no appreciation being given in exchange, which means there's a block within me or there's a misalignment in my environment, like a mouse being put in a rabbit's cage and the mouse is like, I can't eat the rabbit food. And the rabbits are like, we're giving you food. And the mouse is like, I can't eat it. Like, why am I starving? And the rabbits are like, you have everything you need. The issue is the mouse needs mouse food. The rabbits need rabbit food. Rabbit needs lots of places to jump and roam and to dig and do whatever it needs to do. The mouse needs a little hole somewhere to go and hide in and like collect little things and eat little cheese and all yum, 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 you know? We're different. We're different and we're love itself. So if you're blocking connections with people and you're going to card readers to figure out what to do, they can only point to you the things in you that need to be removed from you. We can sugarcoat shit for you all the time, but in reality, you gotta man up, balls up, grow some tits, do whatever you need to do, bedazzle your taco if you have to really grow the fuck up. Because when we're 80, 90, 1,000 years old, would any of this fucking petty bullshit humanity is going through now mean anything to you, to your ancestors, to your lineages? Or would it be a example of how ignorant humanity has been in the year of 2020 to fucking basic facts right in front of their face? Right? It's like the Five of Wands in that Marielle tarot deck. The card, it's like the lion running the other way. There's no conflict, there's no battle, there's a beautiful forest, there's stars, but the lion's like bolting the other way. It's like, pew! Like, where are you going, coward? Like, that's not the point. The lion's supposed to be stable, right? The Pisces is supposed to go interdimensionally. The Scorpio is supposed to go to the depths and turn the poison into medicine and bring it back to the surface. The Libra is supposed to keep the scales and balance of truth and justice, yet most Libras, we all know, are shady as fuck. The Aquarians, they're supposed to be the innovators, the leaders, the enlighteners, but what they're doing is fucking ghosting and being harsh and manipulative. What the Geminis are supposed to be doing is communicating back and forth in both spectrums of masculine and feminine to the entire collective. But what are they doing? Gossiping. Being on the camera and saying nice things and then turning behind the camera and gossiping about them while still posting it on the internet. Like, how many fucking card readers do you know that are a Gemini Sun, Gemini Rising, not really Gemini Moon? Gemini Moons are very, 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 very quiet. Very quiet. I'm a Gemini Moon and the only time I speak is when I record these videos for you. And I barely reveal myself on the internet. Barely. Because I'm my own best friend. My masculine and my feminine are like each other's husband and wife. Like, I don't, like, when I was young, I was told gossiping is like giving up your blessings to the person you're gossiping about. But the lower versions, the low vibrations of all the zodiac signs is what we've all been portraying. And it's time we stop that. And really, the next time any of you, including myself, when we're watching a video somewhere, the person in the video doesn't know you. They don't know you. You might have dreams about them. You might have soul connections. You might have soul family ties. You might be part of the same soul tribe. But unless you physically connected face to face, touched each other and had, coffee together, then the messages coming from the people you're watching on television or on your phone are not directly directed at you, the human. They're directed at your soul and all the blockages your soul is trying to clear from the human. The human is the ego. You get it now? Your thoughts, the thoughts you're thinking in your head, that chatter is your ego translating what your heart is feeling. Because you haven't been listening to your heart. Prove this to yourself right now. Emulate the feeling of drinking a glass of water. Feel to yourself that you're holding a glass of water. I can guarantee you your mind has repeated the word water, drink water, 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 water 1,000 times already. While you're trying to figure out how to feel the word water without thinking it. It's all the connection of the heart. Your gut also has another brain. And when channelers are channeling, the current of the body must be clean. Which means if we have judgments that have remained unforgiven, we can't channel to you. So me channeling to you for 3 years tells you that I resolved my baggage 3 fucking years ago. That's why I've been on this fucking channel for 3 years giving you spiritual wisdom. Not because I haven't let go, not because I need to get over something, not because I've opened a wound, none of those things that you, the viewer, does. I've dealt with it. I've died repeatedly in this lifetime, repeatedly, and have been brought back to life. I have had multiple near-death experiences to where I have seen myself repeatedly die, get out of body, come back in my body because I knew I had stuff to do still. I have literally spent eons in hell. The real hell. It exists. Do you know what it's like? Empty, dark, infinite, eternal, and it's a constant state of falling. There's no sound, there's no sight, there's no voice, there's no vibrations. It's like a sensory deprivation chamber of all of everything, including everything you are. The only thing that remains of you is the silence within you. And the moment in that state of hell you have a thought, do you know what happens? You go to that thought. The last time I died and I was in hell, I had a thought of, this was back in 2015, and I was with Corey at the time, and I died. He was at work. I was in the house. I flopped on the floor, passed out, died. Just gone. I was in hell for I don't fucking know how long. And this being that I see so many times, this crystal lady showed up and she keeps asking me the same question every time I'm there. Wouldn't love be easier? And the last time I experienced that, when she asked me that, the first thought I had was being back at home with him. And I popped back into this life, and my life has been fucking glorious. Well, kinda, sorta. It's been fucking shitty, to be honest. But considering how it's been, I've done really well. Really well, considering I've had nothing to work with but myself. So, you don't know the stories of the people making videos for you. You don't know their life experiences. You don't know if they're gods or angels, or if they're ascended masters, or if they're your spirit guides, or if they're like demons or incubi. You don't know this. All you know is the message coming through. And I don't know if you guys know this, but you have the ability to discern when a message is from the light and when it is from the dark. Neither message is more important than the other. Because if a message is coming to you from the dark, it is revealing the dark within you. If a message is coming from the light, it is illuminating the light within and pushing away the dark. There must be a balance. There must be. As holy and sacred as I know I am, I have no problem wielding katanas and a bow and charging through a battlefield. None whatsoever. Fight me, brah. Like, you don't know who I was previously to this 1980 experience that I've been having. You really don't know. And if I told you, you wouldn't believe me. I don't even believe me. And I know who I am. So I love you. I, the person, the ego, the human, the soul, love you. Whoever you are. Whether you're a best friend or a traitor or an ex or a future husband or a future wife, whatever. Future family member, or, you know, my children watching this that don't know that I know they're watching. I love you. I love you. I love you. Please grow up, beautiful and kind and wise. Please don't be petty. Be humble. Please don't hold back what you feel, because your feelings are uniquely you and they make you beautiful, whether you're angry or you're happy, whether you're sad or you're scared. Let it out. And please, to the entire human collective, whenever you see this, if you love someone, fucking tell them. Doesn't mean you're marrying them. It means you're acknowledging what you feel so you can move to the next step. Because as long as you don't acknowledge what you're feeling towards someone, you're the one that's not moving forward, not them. The person, like 3 years, you know, it's been like 3 or 4 years on and off with me and what's his face. Had I known that, you know, if me and him had a pleasant separation, I wouldn't have gained anywhere near the wisdom I have now. But because of the trauma that occurred, I have learned how to handle trauma far better and learned how to help others heal it and hold space for them while I guide them through the healing process. Because of the pain. So in a way, I'm excruciatingly grateful to Corey for being powerful enough of a creator to come into my life and work with me to fuck each other up. Because we were the only two people that had the fucking gall to do what we did to each other. Nobody else did it, because it's me and him loving each other on another realm, coming here, destroying each other to show people how to recreate love, how to build foundations, how to have new relationships that are better and wiser and more heart-based. But instead, some of you think that I'm like complaining or nagging or wanting my ex back. Like, no, bro, I don't even consider him my ex. He's my family. But I have to express the emotions to you properly so that you can see you're not alone and that you can see you can heal from anything. And the issue that was occurring in my partnership with him, in our partnership with each other, and in his partnership with me, was the lack of communication that was honest, transparent, and not sugar-coated. Whenever I would speak to him honestly, he would think I was attacking him or complaining or nagging. Eventually, it got to the point where I was complaining and nagging and being really, really fucking exhausted of having repeated myself. What I didn't notice then is I shouldn't have continued to point out the same thing. I should have improved something in my sphere so that the way I express it to his sphere wouldn't be met with silence and ghosting. What he should have done is not ghost or be silent and said, I don't know how to respond to this. Will you please show me what you need me to do or how you need me to help? How can I help? How can I be more of myself for you because you need more of me right now? And then how can you be more of yourself for me because I need you to be better of yourself so that I can see what my potential is? Because we're reflecting each other, the aspects of each other that we're not acknowledging. I haven't acknowledged the financial, material aspect of this world whatsoever. I was busy raising my family and siblings and being, you know, there for my mom and dad the entire time while I was being shooed into a fucking corner after I got done cleaning the entire house all the time and like taking care of everything. Like, I was scrubbing toilets when I was 6, man. Like, seriously. Me and my mom, like, we had a long discussion a while ago. Like, she didn't know how to raise me. She raised me like I was her assistant, not her child. She needed help and nobody was helping her, and I was the one that came through and helped her. Do I resent her for it? No. Do I wish I had a better childhood? Absolutely. Am I a better person because of the trauma I experienced? Absolutely.